2 is already chaos. Ekitike has got over 20%, so that means he's gotta leave my team according to my rules. So we now have a problem. Out of the forwards left in my rules, I have to block off these players from transfers. Markwee might not be a starter. Fraser, Obi and Bamford don't start. Wissa's up in the air. Barnes probably won't start. And Muniz, even though he scored off the bench, I pretty much don't want him in my team right now. So there's only one man for the job. Even though he probably won't start, it's Liam Rory Delap. So quickly onto my first game week points. Wasn't the best. I only got 52 points. I thought it was going to do better than it did. My only really good player in the week, Ekitiké, is now going to be gone, so that is great. I have to change captains for next week, so it won't be the same player, obviously, even if he did stay. Alisson, Bournemouth are pretty good in the attack, so 2 goals there for Semenyo, so Alisson got the 1 point. James got a clean sheet but a yellow card, so we got the 5 points. Murillo wasn't as good as I thought he was going to be on defensive contributions, so he just got the 2 points. Tarkowski conceded a penalty. I don't think it was a penalty, but there we are. He got 4 points because he got the defensive contributions. Saka, Arsenal played a poor game against United, and to be honest, they were lucky to not concede. Gakpo had a great goal, and hopefully he'll start again next week. Grealish came off the bench. Didn't really get into the game too much, but he had a couple of good touches, and hopefully he'll start a bit earlier next game week. And Mbeumo was unlucky not to score. He had a good few shots on target against Arsenal. He looked a very dangerous threat, so hopefully he can come on now against Fulham and score a goal. He seemed to like it at Craven Cottage. Neto should start, hopefully. He did alright. Chelsea, though, it was 0-0, so wasn't much to go on, and hopefully they can do better now against West Ham, who had a very poor game against Sunderland. Talking of which, Fulkrug did, awful, as well as Arsenal. Didn't really get into the game much. And Ekitike, like I said, Captain Supreme, goal and an assist. He looked really sharp, but unfortunately he has to leave my team. So on to game week 2. I got Pickford in goals because they have an easier game than Alisson has against Newcastle away. Everton seem to be good at home defensively. They have been for the last couple of seasons at least, pretty solid. So Pickford and Tarkowski in the defence. James looks like he's on a lot of set pieces, corners and some free kicks, so he's got the nod against a pretty poor West Ham at the moment. Dorgu looked really dangerous against Arsenal. He hit the post with a shot from outside the box, so Dorgu seems pretty attacking, and he's in instead of Munoz or Murillo because they're both playing each other and anyone can win out of that game. It's pretty tight, so they're both on the bench for me. Saka is my captain. Good match against Leeds at home, so hopefully Arsenal should do a bit better against Leeds, obviously, and hopefully they can get a good few goals there, and Saka is one of their biggest threats, so he's my captain for this week. Gakpo, again, he scored last week, so hopefully he starts and hopefully could be a good goal threat again. Grealish, hopefully starts a bit earlier or starts from the beginning against Brighton at home, so he's in. Then you got Mbeumo and Neto, both good attacking threats. Sesko is in instead of Delap. I don't think Delap's obviously going to start. João Pedro is probably the starter for Chelsea at the moment. Delap may come on, and I think Maresca will be playing them in different games because they both have different qualities, and he does like them both. But I've got Delap on the bench for now, and Sesko, even though he only came on as a substitute against Arsenal, hopefully he can either get on a bit earlier or be integrated from the start this time, and Fulham away is a decent fixture, and Fulkrug is there because he should be a starter, and hopefully West Ham actually do something this week. So, bench, Allison, Delap, Munoz, and Murillo. So hopefully this week can be a bit better than last week. I had to use that transfer, get Delap in instead of Ekitike, so I was forced into a transfer this week. Hopefully it's not the case next week, and I can start saving up some transfers. So hopefully your game week 2 goes well, and we'll see what happens, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.